For now, let's get a reaction to the story. We're joined by the DA Msunduzi caucus leader, Ross Strachan. Ross, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, you were quite outspoken in this motion as well to have this investigation take place in the mayor. I'm keen to hear, if you can, of course, in the simplest of terms for the sake of our viewer, break down some of the allegations against the mayor and just how serious they are.
So I'll say good evening, Naledi, and good evening to your viewers. Yeah, just listening to some of the comments from other stakeholders and political parties, and I must make reference to the MK's comments about the fact that Umsunduzi's dysfunctionality has been very long-standing. But I must say that the very same MK leaders here in Umsunduzi were part of the collapse when they were part of the ANC. So that's quite an ironic situation they find themselves in. But anyway, to cut a long story short, so these allegations against the mayor came about when the previous city manager, who was suspended for over a year and went to court due to an irregular process that was followed. When the mayor tabled the suspension notice, as well as the allegations against the city manager, obviously the city manager had to respond to those allegations, and the mayor failed in terms of the regulations to provide that response. We obviously got hold of that response through the suspended city manager, and obviously he was very outspoken in the media and basically in the general public. And in those allegations, the document stated that the mayor was involved in many issues of financial mismanagement and misconduct, the awarding of irregular tenders, absolute abuse of power, and making unilateral decisions on behalf of the municipality, the likes of the Royal AM sponsorship and various other issues that have cost this municipality dearly, which it's obviously not in a position to lose financial well-being, being so collapsed as it is. So all these allegations and that, obviously we've been trying through the different spheres of government to get investigations off the ground, trying to get into council where we can obviously investigate those allegations. And we thought the timing was right, especially now. The ANC are at 6s and 7s at the moment. I believe the mayor's on his way out anyway, alongside many other leaders in the city. There's obviously an RTT that's been put together by the ANC in the province, and I believe there will be a reshuffle. But you know what? No one's immune to investigation. We believe that the mayor, even though he is on his way out, must still be investigated. He's been part of the cause of the collapse, and he must be investigated himself. And if necessary, if those allegations are substantiated, he must be charged accordingly.
Yeah, obviously the biggest issue becomes just how much this has impacted on service delivery and residents of Umsunduzi, and I'd love for you to unpack that. You touched earlier on the issue of the sponsorship to a Royal AMFC, for instance. What was that, 27 million rand?
Yeah, 27 million plus VAT, so a little bit extra than that. And yeah, that's one of the highlights of where we've acted and taken decisions irresponsibly, whether it be for political benefit or not. That is a debate for another day. But many other issues of where we're spending money on non-core functions of this municipality. And, this is not a collapse that's happened overnight. This is a collapse that's happened, I would say, very early on, maybe even since 2016, when the previous leadership and the previous dispensation absolutely looted the city for its size and obviously the status of being the capital of KZN. It's possibly the worst run municipality in the country for its size. And everyone knows about Msunduzi and it's the fact that it's been under administration twice almost in 15 years, once in 2010 and now recently in 2019. and was extended 5 times with a different administrator each year. And it's never been able to get out of the woods. So for us, it's really strange and frightening to know that, we've got this GPU where we've got MECs, especially the MEC of Cocta, who's an IFP MEC, that I heard earlier on that there was a ratepayers association that said council blocked the motion. We've got to be very clear here. That's a little bit misleading. The processes in terms of democracy is that majority rule and a voting decision-making impact must be made. And that's obviously where we came in, we put the motion in, and we were outvoted by the majority in council, including the IFP, the PA, and EFF as well, who did not support the motion, which caused the majority to overrule that motion.
But there is the possibility of a Cocta forensic-led investigation, correct?
Well, we're still waiting for some light of day with that. It's taking too long. We need the political will to get on the ground. Msunduzi doesn't have much time left. Our financial well-being, I mean, we haven't reached over a month of cash coverage for I don't know how long, maybe even since 2016. It's been in financial distress.
Yeah.
So if you're going to say let's get on the ground and get these things investigated, we can't wait. So we're hoping that the MEC get some will and sends a team in here to do it as soon as possible, as well as the SIU has been talking about coming through here. Needs a signature from the president's office. We're waiting for that as well. We cannot wait any longer. Umsunduzi is on a very flimsy string, and it needs to happen very soon before there's nothing left.
Yeah, I do want to go back to this Royal AM issue, Ross, if you'll allow me, because it's seemingly, obviously, there'd be quite a bit of interest, right, in that sponsorship. Various payments that were allegedly made to the soccer team. The argument, though, put by the municipality is that the reason why this sponsorship of the soccer team was in place was so that there would be a benefit by the city, attracting soccer fans to the Harry Gwala Stadium. So, I mean, your view on whether or not that investment had paid off or could possibly have paid off in the future?
Well, yeah, we yet to see the statistics and the stats that it did bring in any benefit. We went into this arrangement with an irregular process as well. Obviously, the soccer team has lots of controversy behind it. It was relegated from the PSL, as well as the fact that SARS investigated the owner. And basically, we were not in a position to sponsor. It was actually against our own cost containment policies. So we went against our own policies. We were very happy for them to come in and use our stadium, possibly embark on sports programs with developing soccer teams, but not in a financial way, because we can't even execute the most basic of services. People throughout the city and Vulindlela haven't had water for over 8 years. And how do you weigh up? Would you rather have water or a soccer team coming into the city where we're paying a billionaire? So it just didn't make any business or economic sense at all.
Yeah. There's this issue, though. In Ntlaganipho Wiseman, Dlamini, perhaps you can just help our viewers understand what happened there. An employee of the municipality jailed for 10 years.
Yeah, it's one of the many officials in our municipality that have been under investigation for corruption. We're happy to see and happy to hear that there's been some significant strides and obviously charges laid, but I think there's still many more under the carpets that need to be dragged out and exposed. Our administration is completely rotten. And it has been for a very long time, and I think there's many more to come, and that's just one example of the many that are still going to be exposed.
Yeah, this Mr. Dlamini sentenced to 10 years. This is for soliciting bribes, found guilty on 2 counts of corruption. procuring of tenders and corrupt activities related to public officials. The next step for the Democratic Alliance in Umsunduzi then?
So our next step is we won't stop like we always have been fighting. We are one of the only parties in the city that is leading the charge and trying to arrest corruption and bring back integrity. We'll continue to do so. And, you know, we've got to make it very clear that you've got to be careful of the wolf in sheep's clothing. The guys that go out there and state that they are trying to bring back integrity to the city, but yet they're voting with the ANC. It just doesn't make sense at all. And you've just got to be, as the residents of the city and the people of the city, we need to get a government that's got integrity. And we've got to get a government in that puts the people first, not the party, and self-benefit. So we will continue to fight and continue to expose, continue to work with our MECs and ministers that are willing to help and try and bring back some balance in the capital of KZN. And we'll continue to prove until the next elections that the DA is the only party that's fit for purpose with a proven track record to govern the city.
All right, Ross, you're campaigning there. I'll forgive you for that last bit. Thank you so much for chatting to us, though. Ross Strachan is the caucus leader for the Democratic Alliance in Umsunduzi, speaking to us. Right.